So, hello everyone, and welcome to our AGM. Obviously, this is a pre-recorded message for reasons of convenience, but please stay put after the end of this nice chat to continue with our program. Now, I'm very excited to have a very special guest with us today, Mr. David Lockwood. Now, I know a lot of you already know David, but for those who don't, let me give you the official um, introduction. David is our president-elect. He's also the executive vice president and COO of Colliers International. He is based in South Carolina. He has been a member of SIOR since 1990, more than 30 years. He served in many leadership positions within the society, but also in other boards and committees. He was awarded 3 times by the society. And of course, he will be our president for the next year, coming starting in October. For the next year, David will be our president. So many European members know you, David, already. Because you have been coming to our events, you have been coming to our conferences, but also other events. In fact, I met you through during a virtual event. But I thought, this fire chat might be a good opportunity to get to know you in different ways through a different lens. So, David? So, David, thank you very much for accepting our invitation for this different type of a chat.
Liana, I'm so happy to join you today. Thank you very much for that very good introduction. Very gracious for that. Thank you.
So I've seen your CV. You've had a long career, very successful career, lots of achievements. But let me go back at the very beginning and ask you, what originally got you inspired to get into this business, into this career?
It's a really interesting question because I did not go to college to get a business degree or a real estate degree. I often say I fell into the business. I actually started working for a technology company that was running a multiple listing service. And as soon as I got around real estate professionals, I fell in love with the people. Now, I knew at that point, I knew 3 months into that job, it was clear to me that I wanted to be like these people. The one difference was they were residential agents, and I had much more of a business mind, if you will. And I knew at that point, even 3 months into that position, that I really wanted to get into commercial real estate. Yeah. And something resonated with me even at that time, that I liked very tall buildings. So that would lead you to believe that I had much more of an interest in office towers than I did single level industrial buildings or any other product type. And so I worked for this company. I obtained a real estate license and looked for the opportunity that I could enter commercial real estate as a business. And it was a dream come true. It honestly, from that day forward, it became a dream come true because I was originally hired to be an office leasing agent for office towers in the city that I still reside in, Columbia, South Carolina.
Wow. Tall buildings. I would never think of that. That's an inspiration, but yes, I can see it. Wonderful. So what motivates you to keep doing it now, 30 years on, or, what motivates you to get up in the morning and go to work?
There's so many answers to that question. One is just the creativity of commercial real estate and the ability to match landlords and tenants or buyers and sellers, the ability to say in the future, look what I helped create. Yeah. Or even more important, and there are 2 very important parts. One is to be able to say, I helped my client achieve their level of success, whatever that level of success may be. If it were an office product, it may be a law firm moving into new space so that they can retain and hire new employees. And you look back and say, I helped them achieve that. Yeah. But the other and probably the most biggest driver for me is relationships. And you will hear me talk about relationships so much because I think it is the goal of every commercial real estate broker to have really great personal relationships with the clients that they represent. And forming that bond, that personal relationship with your client, there's just no better achievement there when you can do the business, but you can also have that personal relationship with them and allow that personal relationship to grow over the years. So the answer to that is twofold. One is the creativity and being able to see your clients be successful, but also the relationships that you are able to create in this wonderful industry. And it's endless. The number of relationships are endless.
Going back to that, then, what is it that you're looking for when in your business partners, even in your friends? I mean, what is the first thing that you would look for? We're talking about relationships. I mean, how do you
trust and integrity? A relationship is based on someone that you can trust no matter what. And so if you're talking about the relationship with a client, it's that partnership that you have with them. If it is relationship and leaning on the SIOR side, the relationship with brokers around the country and around the world is so inspiring. And I'm not unique. SIOR brokers all across this globe have the same ability to create a relationship. And Liana, you may never do a transaction with them, but you can call on them in a time of need. You can call on them for help. You can call on them for advice. You can call on them to have fun. The relationships among the brokerage community, they are just endless. And very fortunate with the European chapter. A number of years ago, it started opening up a complete new set of doors to have international friends and to be able to experience not only the business side of it, but the personal side of it as well, which is so incredibly rewarding.
I must say, this is something that, I just joined SIOR myself in last January, so I'm pretty new in this environment. And this is one of the first things that I noticed as well, that the people, the relationship, they're so friendly and they're so direct at the same time. So I do recognize what you're saying. Great. Okay, we talked about what's nice about your job. What annoys you, though? I mean, there must be some things that annoy you. So what are these things as well? I mean, we'd like to know.
That is a difficult question. I'm not sure there's a lot of things that annoy me because I'm a detail person, so I handle details and the minuscule things very well. I think that probably what annoys me in the industry is a lot of people, particularly even newer brokers, you can see the potential if they would apply themselves more, if they would, and I hate to use the term work harder, but even with successful brokers who enjoy a great lifestyle. And I always say, look, if you could work just a little bit more, if you could apply yourself just a little bit more, think of the potential that you have. You're not reaching your fullest potential. And certainly I respect the personal time. I respect family life. I respect civic involvement. But so many times what we do in representing the clients is applying our knowledge to their business. And if we would just spend more time learning about that business, and again, it goes back to the relationship, learning more about that business, I think we could do so much better. So it's really the annoying part are people that may not reach their fullest potential when they have that potential in them.
To go that extra mile. Yeah. Which makes a difference at the end of the day. This is what makes you better than, the others. So coming back to that, I mean, this is a good. I like this. You give me a nice hint for my next question, which is, now in Europe, as you know, we're very keen to attract new blood and young professionals. So we've been doing all kinds of activities trying to get there. What would be, if you were to give 3 pieces of advice to a young professional starting now in this business, what would this advice be?
Well, number one, have a great mentor. Have people, surround yourself not only with a mentor, but a team of mentors, teams of people. And I had the great fortune with a lot of great SIORs that are in my market and in South Carolina, and even in the Carolinas chapter, which is North and South Carolina of the United States. And as soon as I got into commercial real estate and I got around these people who had an SIOR designation, you could tell there was something different. You could tell that they loved to have fun. They were very, very professional. And so one of those pieces of advice coming in is set a goal. And one of those goals ought to be, how soon could I enter into SIOR? How soon can I obtain my designation? And of course, now with member associate program, it's an incredible pathway into that membership after you've been a commercial real estate broker for 1 year. So number one is surround yourself with people, great leaders. Number two is set your sights on what you want to achieve and work towards that.
Yeah.
Then the third one may be a little bit subjective for me, but it is be yourself. Don't try to be somebody that you shouldn't be. Be yourself. That's why people will probably like you. And because of that, you will develop the network. You will develop relationships inside and outside of SIOR. Just be yourself. People love great personalities in this business. And so if you're yourself, people will gravitate to you automatically.
So being genuine, it's something that people...
Very good. Absolutely.
Yeah. David, during your career, okay, I know there are many, but can you think of the best decision you ever made in your career? As something as a landmark, maybe you can think of.
And it has to be with my career?
No, please. No, I was thinking in terms of business, but hey, our personal life is an extension of who we are. So, you said,
best decision I ever made was choosing my bride, who has been incredibly supportive. Her name is Leslie, and in my entire professional career, that was absolutely the best decision I've ever made. So let me chase that. Leslie is like an SIOR member herself. She develops relationships inside of SIOR that are incredible, either with SIOR members or with spouses. And when we go to conferences, she has her own entire network of friends that they socialize. They communicate almost every day. And that is what gives me joy, is because she is sharing my professional life with me by being involved in SIOR and creating those relationships. So honestly, it was that personal side. That was the best decision that I ever made. If I want to turn it into absolutely the professional, it's goal setting. The best decision I ever made was just setting goals. I'm constantly setting goals that I like to achieve. And one of those was obtaining the SIOR designation. And if you do that early in your career, it's a launching pad. We have a lot of conversations with really great professionals across this globe who are seasoned professionals and why they should be SIORs.
Yeah.
But for the young professional entering the business, it's that lifeline that gets you to a point so much quicker.
But if you were to advise yourself at the very beginning, then what would you tell yourself? I mean, other than what you just explained, but to your personal career, let's say, to your life, would you say give yourself an advice of maybe avoiding some mishaps?
It's not avoiding mishaps. Early in my career, and I was probably a year and a half into my career, and I tell this story to everyone that I hire. I had learned enough to be dangerous. I had learned enough that I felt I had the confidence to be able to advise clients. And I remember working on a transaction. I was about 24 months in the business. And I was showing a space in a very, very not a Class A building, a very low quality building. And I remember saying to myself, okay, I'm around the commercial real estate people for these last 2 years. I see what they do. And I can do what they, as experienced pros, I can do what they do, and I need to start reaching higher in terms of the quality of my transactions, the quality of client base, bigger transactions. I need to have the confidence in myself. And I said at that time, and I remember where I was, I remember the building I was in, I remember who I was showing space. And I said, and I apologize because of the arrogance of this statement, I said, I am better than this. Let me shoot for something extremely high. And I think there's a point in every young broker's career that is a turning point for them.
Yeah.
That they have the confidence and they can start shooting for the moon. And it's a great thing that when it occurs.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me change the subject a little bit. David, I've seen a picture of you falling from the sky. You did parachute, yes? You did. You tried it, and you did actually say that it was a life-changing experience. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, so a local program here that educates business people on military bases. They offered a program. I was invited to go to learn about this Air National Guard base in close proximity to where I live, and to entice you to come learn more about the installation. At the end of the 2.5 to 3 hour program, you had the opportunity, if you wanted, to go up in a plane and to jump with an Army Golden Knight. The most interesting part about that is I was asked only 3 days ahead of time if I wanted to do it. And my immediate reaction was yes. Now, I am a little bit of a thrill seeker.
Okay.
I had never thought about parachuting.
Yeah.
It was something that as soon as it was offered to me, I said, that's a challenge. I want to do it. I absolutely want to do it. The most amazing thing about that was I never was nervous. My heart was never racing. People ask me, were you scared? No. And the reason was I was jumping with an Army Golden Knight who had over 1,000 jumps. He was a 29-year-old male from Texas. He had over 1,000 jumps. He was doing 5 jumps that day. And the confidence of, I'm going to be with him, it allowed me not to have any fear. Yeah. Well, there's also there's a message there by when you have great people around you that you can rely on, they'll take care of you. And so I never got nervous. Now, here's a follow-up, a postscript to that. Just a week ago, I had someone involved in that program who did not remember that I did the jump a couple of years ago. And he said, you ought to come do this. And I said, if you ask me, I will do it again in a heartbeat. It was such a thrilling experience. And it was an experience of accomplishment is what it was.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I will go again.
But I see the same message of going back to trust. And, and when you trust your partners, your business partners, I mean, things change. You're very confident. You do things that you wouldn't do otherwise. And absolutely wonderful. So originally, I wanted to ask you about what are you passionate about? I mean, what are the things? I mean, is it something you just mentioned that you a little bit of a thrill seeker, but what are you passionate about? Some causes or some activities or something that you would talk for hours?
So my wife and I love to scuba dive. It was a dream of hers, and she brought me along. So we do a fair amount of scuba diving. I'll be scuba diving later this year, a week-long trip. We just celebrated a couple of months ago our 100th dive, which pales into comparison to some people, but that was a major accomplishment to us. Yeah. And the reason she does it because she loves doing it. I'll do it because she loves doing it. Yeah. For me, it is the sense of accomplishment that I'm able to do something that doesn't come natural to me. Yeah. So it's something that I really have to focus on. And once I'm doing it, I love it. I love it. Yeah. But it's having the confidence that I can do it because she shows me the way. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. I mean, I've been scuba diving a little bit, and I know exactly what you mean when you actually can get there and overcome your fear and you just relax
and enjoy and be in the moment, I think it's a very special feeling. So I get it. um, so on the other hand, I mean, you are obviously very busy. You travel a lot. You have committees and boards. And how do you relax? How do you slow down?
That's a really interesting question, and
You have to think about it.
no, I don't. I will tell you what relaxes me, and this doesn't fit a lot of people. I love doing yard work. I love working outside. I love the manual labor of cutting grass, cutting trees, raking, gardening. And I often say, if I'm on my tractor, if I've got a chainsaw or a big trimmer that has an engine on it, no one ever bothers me. No one ever interrupts me. And that is, there's an accomplishment, because when you finish cutting the grass, you look at it and you say, look at what I've accomplished. Look at what I've accomplished. The other thing that I would say to you is, I picked up running a couple of years ago. And I don't run because I enjoy running. Now, immediate past president Patrick Sentner right now, he runs like crazy. He runs all the time, and he loves running. I run because it gives me an hour that I'm by myself, and that is my time to think, to ponder, to plan. No one interrupts me when I'm running either. I usually will run at around 6 a.m., 6:15 in the morning. And if you've ever seen some of my Twitter posts, it's something that I started locally here long ago. A couple of years ago, I posted a picture of the sun being up, and I had seen people that said, wow, so beautiful. And they wanted to talk to me about running. It wasn't the running, it was the fact that I was by myself and I could literally see darkness into light. But I started posting these pictures called Suns Up Columbia. And so many people would see me on the streets or see me in meetings and say something about it. It became almost obligatory that tomorrow I would have to go running to post a picture. And so it became a motivational thing for me. It can be a little quirky, but I have so many people that will ask me, hey, are you going to post a picture tomorrow? Because I love seeing it. And it was the motivation to get me out tomorrow to go running. So it's not because it's because I'm by myself, and that's my personal time.
In fact, I saw one of these pictures and I was sure, I didn't realize that. I didn't read about running, and I said, he's running. He's on a run. I mean, I realized that I was planning to ask you if you ran. So which app do you spend your most of the time on? I mean, your phone app, which one do you use the most?
Oh, probably Pandora Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But are you active on social media? You like to?
Oh, social media. I've become very, very active in LinkedIn, Twitter #2, Facebook #3. I am not an Instagram user, but I will tell you and the great thing about social media, just because of what it is, it connects the world. It connects you with your friends. You're able to keep up with one another. It has become so personal. Even the LinkedIn, which was designed for business, the ability to connect with SIORs across this globe and see what they are doing and what they are posting, it just has an incredible connectivity to it. Now I will tell you, for a number of years ago, I struggled even just to keep up with social media. But I find now that it's become a second habit, because if you do it a little bit each day, or a little bit 2 or 3 times a day, you can keep up with kind of maintaining that sense of presence there. And so I don't find it overburdensome at all. But yeah, LinkedIn has become my favorite. Twitter too.
Okay, very good. You know, in my part of the world, I come from Mediterranean, East Mediterranean. We get to learn a little bit about the other from the type of coffee that they drink. Do you take your coffee?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
You know, in my part of the world, we have this coffee, a special kind of coffee.
Yes.
Drinking coffee. And you order your coffee in different ways. There are different ways to order your coffee. No sugar, black, a little bit, tiny bit. We're very particular about the once, and spoonful of sugar. How do you take your coffee?
That is
I'm
such
just
an
trying to
interesting
assess now.
question. That's like a dinner party question,
Yeah,
get people
well,
to talk.
it's for the fire chat.
I'm not a coffee snob. I don't have a preference for coffee. I can't taste the difference from one coffee to another. I am a coffee drinker, probably too much, but it is very much a little bit of sweetener and a lot of cream in it.
Okay.
And so that tells you that I'm not the hardcore coffee drinker. And it really is just more out of habit than anything.
Okay.
I don't need caffeine to get me going. I don't.
Yeah.
I have enough energy on my own, so it's not
Wow.
a caffeine fix for me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for clarifying. So, do you collect? Are you a collector of anything?
I am. I know people who collect guns. I know people who collect cars. This sounds trite, and it's something that started in high school. I collect tickets of every event that I have ever been to. I collect tickets. Now, going to virtual tickets to sporting and things like that, it kind of ruins it. But I literally can look back at my stash of tickets and look at movies that I saw 45 years ago, and I still have the ticket stub and the name of the movie on it.
Yeah.
And again, so it's not some elaborate collection, but it was just something that I started.
It's like a diary of your experiences, I guess.
Yeah. The other thing that's personal, a number of years ago when I started traveling, my daughter, when she was in school, somewhere I gave her a hotel key. And it became one of those things with my daughter that when I would come home, I'd give her the hotel key. And still to this day, every hotel I stay in, I will bring her a hotel key.
Yeah.
She is married. She has a child, and I still to this day bring her hotel keys.
Yeah. Well, it's like sharing something with Dad from all over the world, from from his travels or something. It's wonderful. Okay. Now I'm coming close to the end. I mean, it was great to get to meet you, but I wanted to talk a little bit about SIOR now. What is your favorite thing about being the president now, starting in October?
This is not going to be a surprise. This is not a surprise to you.
No, it's not a surprise, but
it is being able to see and visit with relationships that have been created over the years, and it is the ability to make new relationships. And so if you've ever heard me talk, many of you may know this. The first relationship outside of my own company that I ever had in SIOR was attending my first conference, Orlando, Florida, new member dinner. And Leslie and I made friends with another new member and spouse. They were from Tacoma, Washington, and they and others became our best friends.
Yeah.
And you think, wow, it's a professional organization. I never intended this to be so personal, but it became very, very personal. And so it was so special. So the ability to be president and get around and see the people that you have made relationships with over the years, but then in every location visit, making new relationships and learning why, just like you asked me, why did you get into this business? How are you being successful? Yeah. What's important to you? And having those type of conversations, that's the most rewarding part to me.
But it sounds to me, David, that the way you describe your passion about your job and your career and the fact that you want to have relationships with it is this line between work and life, and it's not very it's not a bold line, let's put it this way. And I think it's wonderful because then you don't feel that you're slaving and going to work and then so you can have a life.
Right.
So So it sounds wonderful. It sounds like you're doing whatever
it,
it is that you like.
it all works together like that. There is no
Yeah.
clear distinction.
Yeah.
Work is personal, personal is work, and because of that, I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just being around others who have similar interests in real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. So what could be some of the priorities that you set to achieve in terms of SIOR now?
Yeah. So there are a number of priorities, and some of it follows our strategic plan.
Yeah.
One, a personal goal is I would love to say that after I completed my time as president, that I was able to visit every chapter that was out there, and you can't do it over 1 year, so it's a multi-year leading up to being president. But what I really thrive on is seeing new people coming in this industry, young people coming into this industry, and achieving the designation. Seeing that diversity among new members is incredibly important for SIOR. It's important for our industry, and SIOR is a leader in the commercial real estate industry. And if we don't have the initiatives to have a more diverse membership, then the industry itself will never change. So I'm very, very passionate about that. Very passionate about seeing new people, young people come into this industry and be able to experience what so many of us have experienced over the years. The other thing, and let's face it, you've got with the European chapter, global expansion is a high priority. We are a global organization, and we really must focus on the recruitment of the new designees in European countries and other countries as well, so that we can establish those relationships, service our clients, and really have that global reach that we've had, but we need to do even better with it.
We're looking forward to working very closely with you on these targets, because we actually see them as well, and these have been our priorities as well. So that's great. So David, I'm going to finish it now. Thank you very much for your time and for your willingness to open up to some insights that we didn't have. I'm personally very looking forward to meeting you in person in Chicago.
Yes.
And we would love to welcome you to our Berlin conference in next July.
I am looking forward to Berlin. Topping Dublin is hard, but I know that it will be done. But I'll tell you, so the message to the US-based SIORs, go to Berlin. Go to Berlin, experience Europe. The way the European chapter does the conference is phenomenal. It is so well done. The speakers are always so good, but you just need to go. You've got to experience it. So I would say to the US-based SIORs, plan that trip. For the
wonderful
members that we have in Europe, that's a natural. You got to be there and bring prospects to it as well. So Berlin will be a fantastic conference. Looking forward to that.
Wonderful. All the best for the next year. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.